Hello there, it's Silly Farmer Billy. I'm here with an update. I got through the detox, but I had to shift gears a little bit. So, to recap, my plan is to lose 40 to 60 pounds to get there by February 1st, and I'm going to use microgreens to do it. I'm not following any particular plan, or there's no other secret ingredient to what I'm doing. Although I do know stuff. I mean, you pick up stuff over the years. So I'm going to do regular healthy stuff that a normal person should do, like some exercise, drinking a lot of water, and things like that. But I wanted to tell you how the detox went, because I remember I started with 1 week, 7 days, nothing but microgreens to let them cleanse my system and see what, and then I had a plan for after that. And honestly, I went 3.5 days, and I decided I was feeling strange. I started to think maybe I was slipping into ketosis and that my body would adjust and I would get past it. But I also I didn't really have many bowel movements after like the 28 hours, and so I was concerned, and I'm not an expert in this. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I didn't want to hurt myself. So I went ahead and declared the detox over, and I'm confident that the detox was over. In fact, at the 26-hour mark, I knew that the detox was over, really at the 48-hour mark, because when there's nothing more coming out of you that's bad, then obviously you're somewhere. So one thing I did introduce was I added apple cider vinegar on, I think, the second or third day. Day 2 or 3, I added apple cider vinegar because I was concerned that my body would not be able to properly flush on the cellular level. I could experience that my digestive system was being flushed, but many of the fantastic properties of microgreens have to do with detoxification of the cells themselves, the cells that make up your body. So I ended up introducing apple cider vinegar. It's 0 calories. I know that's not just microgreens. And then also a thing I did the same time, I took 2 ounces, a little 2-ounce shot of extra virgin olive oil, and I did that thinking about possibly my body adjusting to ketosis, because there's not really any carbohydrates in microgreens. I wanted to make sure that my body started to burn ketones, started to use fats for energy rather than just, eating my muscles away. And I don't know anything about it, so I did it as a precaution. I don't know if it would even have helped. But basically, I got to a point where I felt like the detox is over. And remember, this is an experiment. And an experiment, by definition, is I don't know what's going to happen. So we learned a lot, though. I learned a tremendous amount just in a couple days. So, but first, before I tell you that, I'm going to tell you where my weight loss is. So I weighed in at 60 hours. So it was the morning of the 3rd day, I guess. Yeah, so the morning of the 3rd day, and I had lost 8 pounds. But I forgot to get on the scale before drinking 2 giant glasses of water. So that's a pound right there. So I lost 8 to 9 pounds. And 8 to 9 pounds in 60 hours isn't bad. Is that something that I think is a good track to go on? Like lose 8 pounds every 3 days to get to my goal? That's probably not good. Even if I could do that, that's probably not the way you want to do that. One, because it's probably unhealthy. It's probably not good. I think what I did was very healthy. I think it was a great kickstart to what my overall thing I'm doing is, but it's probably not healthy to keep doing that continuously. And my body was telling me that. My body was telling me, hey, Billy, because I was feeling, the first few days, I wasn't hungry, and I was just doing 1 microgreen smoothie every day, and it was a monster smoothie too. But I wasn't hungry. So basically, it was de facto 24-hour fasts because I wasn't hungry until the next night. So I ended up fasting for 24 hours, not because I wanted to introduce fasting as an element of weight loss, which I hear it's a tremendous help to burning fat, but I just wasn't hungry. And that's because I was getting enough nutrition. My I read in Dr. Furman's book, which I just read. I'm going to do a book review on that. I'm going to do that in another video. But one of the takeaways for me was satiation comes from your stomach, that when your stomach feels full, you feel satiated. But satiation also comes, there's another element of it. Your intestines measure the nutrients they're getting. And if you aren't getting enough nutrients, your intestines say, well, you better eat something. Well, I might have had 5 bowls of cereal. I've actually done that in my life. I've had 5 bowls of cereal and or a whole box of cookies and milk, and I still feel hungry. It's because there wasn't any nutrition. Your body knows that. Your stomach's saying, don't eat, man. Oh, you're done. And then your intestines are saying, no, man, we're starving down here. We can't do anything with this crap. And then your stomach's like, okay, give me 5 minutes and we'll go another round. And that's how people get overweight in America. So, high nutrition. I was so satiated in nutrients that I didn't even need more food. I didn't feel like I needed more food. The truth is that I was on a severe caloric deficit, and I did a calculation. I should have done this before. Billy, why didn't you calculate how many calories before? I was just thinking, I don't need to do that. Well, I calculated how many calories were in my microgreen smoothie, and it was 175 calories. So the shot of olive oil was another 200 calories. So I was on 175 calories for a couple days, and then I was on 475 calories. No, 375 calories for a couple days. And then I'm wondering why I'm feeling weird. The point is that the experiment worked because I learned, but also the actual goal worked. I lost 8 pounds. I should have just cut it at the end of the 3rd day. I should have broken my fast at the end of the 3rd day. I ended up breaking it midway through the 4th day. This is something I may introduce again in my journey. I may do this again now that I know that it works and I know how it works, or at least I have an idea how it works. I could do this again. I could eat regular, not bad, but eat regular for a couple weeks, a week to 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Do this again, drop another 8 pounds. I don't know. Will I drop another 8 pounds? I don't know. How much of it was water weight? I mean, I've been drinking a lot of water. I've been putting a lot of salt in my body, a lot of minerals. So that was one thing I learned, though, is that you can't live on microgreens alone. Don't try to do it. But I also learned by accident that if you want to fast and you've been having trouble, maybe a little trick, a little hack, a body hack is pump nutrition into your body. Put it all in there so your body's good for 24 hours on a nutritional level. And then you can differentiate between hunger and cravings and nutritional hunger. Nutritional hunger, actual energy hunger, something to do with your metabolism, and cravings. So I want to talk about the difference between cravings and hunger, because I feel like I got it. I know the essence of hunger now, and I know the essence of cravings, and I can tell the difference because I wasn't hungry. Even when I was going to have my smoothie the next day, I just felt like I should. I could have gone 2 days, or I don't know if I could have gone 2 days, but I could have at least gone till the next morning. I could have gone a day and a half between smoothies. Maybe I'll try that the next time I try this again. But basically, you put enough nutrients in your body that you can tell what a craving is. You see, that's the thing. You're not sitting there thinking, I'm hungry. You're not thinking about food. You're not thinking about it at all. But then, oh no, my wife's making toast. Oh, I can smell the butter melting on it. It was a craving. I wasn't even hungry. As soon as I walked out of the room, 3 minutes later, good to go. So, the big one was at the Philadelphia Eagles game. Someone invited me to an Eagles game, and I made it through the tailgating. I didn't have any of the food that they were preparing, and it was wonderful food that I passed up on, and I was okay with that. You know what almost did me in? It was a sausage sandwich. My wife's like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm like, well, let's go get you something to eat. And I'm thinking I could cheat and have a salad. That would not affect my detox. It would affect the microgreens only experiment. I'm already thinking how I'm gonna cheat. Like, how could I cheat a little bit? That's how this happens. And then she's like, these big hot dogs. My friend's like, oh, they got these giant hot dogs. They're huge, and they have sausages. So I'm like, oh, no. I'm sitting there, we're in line. The line's so long, I got all this time to think about it. I can see them. They're cooking them perfect. The rolls are perfect. And I'm just thinking about, I'm sitting here trying to talk myself into a sausage sandwich. I'm trying to, Billy, there's some way that you can have this sandwich and then everything else still work. I'm like, well, maybe I'll fail and then I'll just pick myself up again and make a nice video about that and inspire people that I didn't give up my diet just because I failed. And that would be a legitimate thing. That's what I'm going to do if I cheat or if I have a weak moment. But I'm giving you the play-by-play. This is temptation. This is temptation here. And I just sat and thought about it, and I'm just thinking about, what do I want this sausage sandwich, or do I want everything that I can achieve in my life if I get myself under control? And I walked away from the sausage. My friend who brought us up there, he says, you would have had me at sausage sandwich. Sausage sandwich. You would have. This is a friend who he tries to diet too, and we talk about it. But I hope that you're encouraged by this. I hope the information's helpful. One thing I want to tell you is that maybe microgreens are an aid to fasting. So I'm just going to recap a little bit. Maybe microgreens are an aid to fasting. You can't live on microgreens alone. Don't try to do that. But they're so nutritious that they can control your hunger, or at least that's what my experience was. It's anecdotal. It's personal. It's, there's one more thing I want to talk about too, though. This is important. This is my thesis for the whole journey. This is my personal philosophy on weight loss. And this is why microgreens are the perfect product to help people lose weight, just like they're the perfect product to help people utilize a ketogenic diet. They're the perfect product to help people who are getting introduced to a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet. They're the perfect for weight loss, because a lot of weight loss is managing hunger, and pump you with the nutrients, and you're good to go. And that's because weight loss and health, wellness, these things are not biological problems. If you are overweight and you're watching this video, the fact that you are overweight is not a biological problem. It is a behavioral problem. Okay? The problem is not the foods you're eating. The problem is that you're eating them. Does that make sense? And all these plans, all the weight loss plans you've ever seen, just the simple things. Just, hey man, eat less, eat a lot of vegetables, don't eat a lot of sugar, and drink a lot of water, right? And why didn't it work? It would work. That you deviated from the plan. You couldn't control yourself. And so that's the thing. So any program that's supposed to solve that problem, it can't just solve the metabolism problem. It can't just solve the nutritional problem. It can't just solve the weight loss problem, or any form, any statement or iteration of the biological end of this health thing, of this stewardship we have over our bodies. It's gotta touch on the behavior. If you cannot have a program that changes your behavior or makes it easier to do something different than the thing that got you in a jam, then it's not gonna work. And it's not gonna work simply because you won't do it. Or you'll do it a little while and you'll give up, or you'll do it for a long time and then you'll cheat and then you'll have a food bender, or you'll do it a long time and you realize you hate it and then you just give up. So something that's easy to follow through with is very important in a microgreen. And that's why these things are so special, because think about it. If I had, so I could have done a similar thing if I had just eaten tons of vegetables. I mean tons. Like the conversion, I'm going to do a video on my smoothie versus the vegetables I would have had to eat. The conversion would have been, it was a half a gallon smoothie a day, and microgreens have up to, not necessarily in every case, but up to 40 times the nutrient density of the mature plant. So that's basically, I had a 20-gallon vegetable smoothie once a day. That's what I ate. Now you could, if you can drink 20 gallons of vegetables every day, then you probably could do that, and only that, because you are going to get some carbohydrates and proteins and things like that. You're not going to have such low calories with that. But to get the same nutrition, you're not going to do that. You're just not. You're not going to want to sit there with the blender all the time. You know, that's why people don't juice, because it's so much work. and you're not gonna. I mean, it's a big smoothie. Half a gallon smoothie is a big smoothie to down. That wasn't easy. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't good. I didn't put anything in it to make it taste better, except more microgreens. I actually put radish in the microgreens, for some bite. Where a sweet smoothie, I would never put the radish in. These are good. I can't hold it that long, not either. Anyway, I don't want to make a long video longer. I'm gonna do another video on my smoothie, what it looked like, what I think I could have done different. I'm gonna do another video on what I should have done if I was gonna craft my own detox, with the things I learned, and also things that I know would have been good, but I didn't introduce them because I wanted to see what just microgreens would do. And there's another a video coming, a book review on Eat to Live by Dr. Furman, and I think you'd be interested. My take on that might not be what you think. So if you got through this video, thank you so much. I appreciate you being with me on the journey. To be honest, I didn't eat the sausage sandwich because of you, because I couldn't bear the thought of telling you that I couldn't do it. So thank you so much. You are keeping me accountable. You're inspiring me, and I'm gonna follow through. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it with microgreens. So this is Silly Farmer Billy, your personal microgreens grower and guinea pig.